For watercolor painting, there are many challenges. One of the biggest challenges, there will be water. How much water on the paper and how much water in the brush. Both contribute to the effect, to the look of the painting. So the timing is very important. To let you to see a little bit better, I'm going to put a little bit light color. I'm going to use lots of water. I'm going to put it into this area. Let's add a little more water into it. Okay, let's take a look. I'm using this number 12 sable round brush. Let's take a look. I'm going to take the red color. Right now, the paint doesn't have a lot of water. Let's see. If I'm going to paint something like this, the edge is very soft because the area of the paper is wet. So whatever color you put into here, and actually remain soft edge. I'm going to use a little more paint. I'm going to see how it looks like. This edge is still soft because there's not lots of water in the paint. So the paint actually contains the shape a little bit better. So this technique also called dropping in, like in the wet area, and you put a little more solid colors. Let's do a little dot right here. If I'm going to use a lot of water and put it in here, I like to use my brush to do most of the work. Now let's do a little exercise. Let's say we're going to do a flowers, make it look like in the background. It's very soft. And first we are going to wet this area. I don't need to make too much water, just enough. Now I turn to my round brush. Make it similar water saturation. And I'm going to put a little color here and put a little color here, like that. It's two colors. Some people like to painting into the same area again and again and again, kind of like just to make sure as the color is there. But every time when you put the color into the area, you're actually adding more and more water into the same area. The look will be different. Now on the edge over here, I'm gonna add a little darker color, a little less water, okay, over here. Just tap on that and let it come in a little. Okay, and add a little color here too. How you lay the paper on the table affects the directions of where the water and the wet paint running to. So I'm gonna raise this up, so make it like level to the table surface. And you're gonna see how it will look. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop in a little yellow color in the middle. I'm going to take some yellow color first and take this color, and I'm not going to use too much water in this color. And what I want to do, I'm going to just drop in a little color in the middle, and down on this one I'm going to add a little bit more water, so make it a little bit difference. And I'm gonna drop in here. As you can see, this wet color actually is going to push the surrounding color around and get the new color in. And I want to make the colors a little bit darker. I'm gonna just tap on a little bit over there. And you can see the water would do most of the work for you. If you practice more and you will understand the personality of how the water and the paper is going to work for you. Okay, we're going to leave it like this for a little bit, and we're going to see how it will look like after it dries. What about I don't want to wet the surface first? Sometimes I want the edge a little bit softer. Okay, you can just paint however you want to paint it. Like say over here, add a little bit of water. I'm gonna paint the flowers, for example. I'll leave a little light on this side. So this is interesting flowers, but I want some areas on the edge softer. So you can clean the brush, and I can just tap on the edge. So the water actually would soften the edge. So over here I want it a bit softer. Just use just the wet brush, the damp brush, just soften it. Over here I want this area a little bit softer. So you can use the brush to soften the edge of the shape. At the same time over here, I'm also going to soften this area, make it a little softer, some variety going around the edge. So at the same time, you can take out some color. For example, I want this color a little bit softer here. It just take out the lighter shape. Okay. And I want this shape a little bit lighter. So by using this, I call this a lifting up technique. So you can change from a flat color to become a lot more content. Okay, now this area is still wet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the wet surface to create something a little blur. And this is what I want to do. First, I want to mix with this color, and I don't want to have too much wet. A little blue colors, like this, that's good. Not too much wet. So what I want to do, at the tip, very soft, and I want to make it thinner. Make the line a little thinner. See, everything remains very soft. And now I want to have some yellow dots, but very soft too. In that case, when this area is still wet, you can add the yellow color, maybe add a little bit red. You just tap on it and let the water do the work for you. Okay. I want to add a little bit darker line here. That's as simple. It's just, and the surface getting drier and drier as the time running. because the water would leaving the paper surface. So you can control on when you should come back to do a little more. Now I finished this flower. If you want to pull these flowers a little closer to the viewer, you should give a little more definitions, create a little bit more details, a little bit more value contrast. You can control the illusion of the distance between the objects and the viewer. If you want something really close, that's how you are going to do it. You don't have to wet the surface anymore. You just lay the color on. Lay the color so you have a harder edge. Say, I'm gonna do this. Okay, this is a flower bud. It's just opening up. What I want to do, first, I wet this whole area, or you can leave some area untouched. Leave some small white shapes. It's totally up to you. But what I'm going to do, I am going to take out the lighter area. Take out the light shape. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit more light, some light shape on this side. Okay, this is good. Now I also want to add a little darker color because the center over here still have quite a bit of wet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit more red color and I'm going to add it in here. So create a little deeper illusions inside this flower area. Okay. This area can be a little soft, like that. But I want this a little bit softer, so I use the wet brush, just soften the edge. All we are doing is give out the suggestion, so the viewer will connect with the experience. Okay, now inside here a little bit deeper. At the same time, we can add some orange color in here for little details. Get a little more yellow colors. Now what I'm going to do, because this area is still pretty wet, a little suggestions. Now I'm going to add a little more yellow in here, a little lighter, like that. Okay. Now give some interesting suggestions in here, and I can blend in give a little bit more details on the side over here for those petals. Okay. And over here, I want to give a little clear shape for the light. Still can't because the area is still wet. Still quite a little wet. So I just take out the color. And that's it. Simple. And over here, I give a little light shape. I just take out the color. And in the inside, now I'm going to add a little darker color, create a little contrast, and just a little bit suggestion. Like that. Depends on how much attention that you want to give to an object. Create the illusion of distance and space. For this object is way in the background. This one can be in the midground, and this one can be pretty close to us. For the Enjoying Art Learning Community, we have monthly challenge. This is the only technique exercise for this month's patrons challenge. We're painting cherry flowers. If you're my patrons, we can start working on this painting. If you're not a member, I welcome you to join us.